What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Unique Mazik, the hardest working man in sports and gaming, and we're talking Bulls here. And this is actually, I've cut some Bulls videos before, but this one is actually going to be like my first episode of something I want to call Bulls Talk. So it's kind of like a roundup of the things that are going on with the Bulls. We got Marcus Smart, Rodney Hood rumors. We got comments from Bobby Portis, which I think are positive. We're going to get into those. And we also got some, I don't know how to take this information that's going on about Zach LaVine right now. I'm not sure how to take Bulls management right now, which is probably nothing new to anybody that's been a Bulls fan for any length of time. All right, peeps, make sure you don't forget to leave a like on this video. It was real important. Like I said, I'm trying to rebuild this channel, rebuild that following up to get those views up and to get the community up on this station, on this channel. It's all basketball at this point. Also, don't forget to subscribe and to click that notifications bell. So let's first talk about Marcus Smart and Rodney Hood. As you can see here on the screen, my NBA update tweeted this. It says the Bulls, Suns, Pacers, and Celtics are also contenders for restricted free agent Marcus Smart per the Schultz report. And this originally started off because they tweeted based off of information from Fish Sports that the Mavericks were expected to pursue Marcus Smart for the right price. I don't know how I feel about Marcus Smart as a Bull. I really like his game, but I think Marcus Smart is the kind of guy that you add to a team who needs that final piece, that defensive presence, that leadership, that grit, that glue guy. And I'm not sure, I don't think the Bulls are at that point of their rebuild to add somebody like that. I think he takes minutes away from guys like Zach LaVine, Chandler Hutchison. So I don't know about that. So that one just seems kind of odd to me. All right, so here's another tweet from my NBA update. It says Cavs, Bulls, Pacers, and Pelicans are all quote-unquote contenders for to sign Rodney Hood this offseason per the Schultz report. Now, this one makes a little bit more sense because he plays an obvious position of need for the Bulls, which is small forward. But you did just draft Chandler Hutchison. Now, perhaps the Bulls see Chandler Hutchison more as a two guard, or maybe they think that Rodney Hood can play the two. And maybe this says something about Zach LaVine, which we're going to get into a little bit later on in the video. But I don't have a problem with Rodney Hood. As a matter of fact, when Rodney Hood came out of college, he was a guy who I kind of had my eyes on, like, man, that might make sense as a draft pick for the Bulls. I liked the way he responded in the postseason, in the finals, when he got an opportunity to play. So that was something that was, I thought there was that's a promising sign for Rodney Hood and people who might be interested in grabbing him. All right, let's shift gears to Bobby Portis, who I thought showed tremendous growth last season, especially once he just got in the swing of things after missing time with the suspension for punching Nikola Mirotic in the face. I don't mean to laugh, Nico, but you know, it's kind of one of those things. So I thought he played really well. I wouldn't have a problem with Bobby being the starting center, but Bobby is prepared to be a six-man if need be. He tweeted this out as a reply to Isaiah Thomas saying he was going to be the NBA 2K20 cover guy. He said, watch, speak everything into existence. 2019 NBA six-man of the year, Bobby Portis tweets. He says, speak everything into existence. I thought, first of all, I think this is excellent because it's anytime you're a goal-oriented person, that's always a good sign. Secondly, I think, you ever heard people say, talk about making SMART goals, and the A in the SMART goal acronym is attainable. Bobby Portis, this is a very attainable goal, and it makes sense to do. It also shows unselfishness because Bobby is pretty much saying, hey, I'll take the six-man role. I'll come off the bench behind Robin Lopez. There's no problem. But here's the thing. Is Robin Lopez even coming back? So to me, I think the Bulls should be trying to trade Robin Lopez. Now, the one question I do have is, would Bobby Portis be as open to a six-man role if that meant that he wound up coming off the bench behind Wendell Carter Jr., who is a 19-year-old rookie? Now, 9 times out of 10, Bobby's not going to embrace that one quite the same as he would embrace coming off the bench behind a respected veteran like Robin Lopez. I mean, does Wendell Carter have more talent than Robin Lopez? Absolutely. You could make the case he may have more talent than Bobby Portis, but he's 19 and he's a rookie, and Bobby's been in the league and he's paid some dues and he's been the rookie, and he's, you know, he's not an old guy. He's a younger guy who, if Robin's moving on, he would have every right to assume that he should be the guy. But then Bobby also is probably looking at Lauri Markkanen and saying, hey, I'm coming off the bench behind the 4 or the 5 either way. So either way, I think this is a good problem to have, and it's a good thing. It's a really good, strong approach for Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis also has some trade value. Let's just be honest. Like, I'm not jumping up and down, clapping my hands saying trade Bobby, but if the Bulls are looking to put themselves in strong position to make this upcoming season and then the next off season, the next season, their first humongous steps in the rebuild, putting Bobby Portis in a trade package might be something they have to do. So that's something to be aware of and to think about moving forward, because the year he had last year, his attitude, his versatility, ability to knock down the 3 with regularity, the energy that he plays with, all of those things are going, and his age, you know, I think Bobby's 23. All of those things are going to be attractive to teams. So, yeah, got to think about that. Now, next up, let's talk about Zach LaVine. Are the Bulls really going to let Zach LaVine walk in free agency? So anyone that doesn't know, Zach LaVine is a restricted free agent. Coming off, obviously, the ACL tear. He only played in 24 games, I think it was, for the Bulls this past season. Then he ultimately ended up getting shut down, had some knee swelling. He was also having some up and down. He was a little bit on a roller coaster in regards to his performance. So Bulls beat writer for ESPN, ESPN.com, Nick Friedel, tweeted, he says, the Bulls may still lock up restricted free agent Zach LaVine this summer, but as an organization, the near universal support that LaVine once had internally isn't there anymore. The Bulls will wait to see if he can find big money elsewhere first, and then decide if they want to match. So the way, obviously, for anybody that doesn't know, the way restricted free agency works is other teams will have an opportunity to make an offer to Zach LaVine, sign him to an offer sheet. If he signs the offer sheet, which obviously he will, if it's a place that he doesn't mind going, of course, he'll sign that. The Bulls will have 7 days, I believe it is, to match the offer. If they match the offer, then they have to pay him that contract and he remains a Bull. If they do not match that offer, then Zach LaVine would move on to whatever team he signed that offer sheet with. Now, there is a lot of fallout for this, right? First and foremost, it's a little telling that they would even allow Zach LaVine to take an offer sheet, because the Bulls could have issued an offer that just, he locked him up anyway, and we wouldn't even have to go through all of this, so he wouldn't have to go through this. But they're not choosing to do that, and I think that that is indicative of the fact that they weren't completely sold with what they saw from him. I don't know if it's a work ethic thing. We're hearing a lot of stuff about, you know, the Bulls questioning Chris Dunn's work ethic. I put out a video about that yesterday. And this one here is interesting, because I wonder what type of message this sends to Zach LaVine. You know, is Zach LaVine sitting there wondering, like, why would they allow me to field offers? Is he wondering that? I don't know. Maybe he's not. Maybe he understands. Maybe they've already had, hey, this is the business. Maybe they've already had the, hey, this is business talk. I don't know. But they're allowing this to go this route. Now, obviously, the Bulls have already made up their mind probably whether or not they're willing to match this offer. I think everybody pretty much knows they have to match this offer. So they may not, perhaps teams won't even bother to throw the big money out there because they know it's a waste of time, because they know the Bulls are going to match. So then the Bulls could be ultimately trying to get Zach LaVine for cheaper, because maybe teams are scared off to even enter into the offer sheet process because they know that the Bulls are going to match anyway. So essentially they would just be tying up money for a time period that is pointless. But there's questions about Zach LaVine's defense. There's questions about his offensive efficiency. Those questions are out there. They exist. But he's still very young, and he is coming off that major injury, and he definitely did show flashes when he was on the floor. But here's the thing that I think is a concern. Say, for instance, all of this works out technically the way the Bulls want it to. Say Zach LaVine signs an offer sheet, or say he doesn't sign an offer sheet at all. The Bulls come back to him, and he has to play for a lower amount to qualify an offer. How does that make Zach LaVine feel about the Bulls organization? How does that make him feel about the confidence level? Or what does that do with to his confidence level in the organization, in the front office? One of the things that I think the Bulls need to focus on, that I don't know that they're doing, is managing their reputation with players. And I could be overreacting, but sometimes I just wonder because ultimately I think you're going to have to be able to sign a major free agent to really get over the hump and win a championship. Just look at over the past years, the Bulls have never really been able to get big free agents. They always have to take second-tier guys. And ultimately, I would love to see the Bulls get out of that because this is a major market city and they should be able to ink guys. And they haven't been able to do it. And I think there's a thought out there that the Bulls don't treat players well. And I don't know that they're doing anything to change that perception right now. So that's all I got for you today. I appreciate you watching as always. I talk sports, I talk gaming. God bless and peace.
I'll be weak, I'm rather unique.